Many find the concept of authenticity to be distasteful. It is thought that to attempt to retreat into, to attempt to be authentic is to retreat into an impossible self, to search for an Eden, an Arcadia, a folksy Geneva. To take authenticity seriously is to indulge in a naive and undialectical understanding of self and society. To speak inadequately postmodern. Defenders of authenticity believe in the possibility of immediacy and in the faculty of the will, whereas many of us enjoy claiming that knowledge of the self, like knowledge of other things, is always produced and productive, performative, mediated by instantaneous digital networks and power, etc. From another angle, it might seem that authenticity is always already commodified. Critique of capitalism that deploys authenticity will soon be incorporated by capital itself. Authenticity, to be or to become that which one is. To be or become that which many are. Authenticity, I claim, is real. You can come to know something about it. You can perceive it in others, in things we have made and in things nature has disclosed for us. You can come to know when you yourself have achieved it. We have an almost innate capacity to understand and behold authenticity when pushed to do so. If I were to list a series of ideas, for instance, carrot ideas, so things, people, traditions, institutions, you would recognize immediately which in each pair was authentic and which is not. We can try this now. This isn't a vote, it's already been decided. Just be aware of yourself recognizing authenticity, as I said. So, Mickey Mouse, water.
Yes.
Grammar, sex. The Telegraph, Socrates. Douglas Copeland, Canadian football. Because of our near innate sensitivity to authenticity, which needs to be exercised like other muscles, communities can come to know when the societies and institutions under which they live have become capable of harvesting, for lack of a better word, authenticity. Which we should fight over. To paraphrase the Canadian philosopher Charles Taylor, a society that has abandoned the concept of authenticity is not worth the paper its pornography is printed on. I will show you authenticity. If not, I'll show you a glimpse of what a different time and place might have called authenticity, or might call yet authenticity. At the very least, I'll show you what might have or might yet remind one of authenticity, which is also worth doing, I think. First, how does one show authenticity? What is the form proper to authenticity? Form and style, we should recognize, media as such, are incapable of grappling with authenticity because they're inherently corrupted registers of creative practice. Authenticity as substance, like myself as a speaking man, eschews form and style. Like a lecture, authenticity is pure content. Let us recall that word from another language, SAA. Someone trying stands in front of a group who watches her try, everyone involved all the while acknowledging the structures and formalities alongside which ideas, easily, almost slippery, are disseminated to people. Insofar as the lecture does have a form, its form is that of authenticity, which is pure content. So I will essay content about authenticity, which has already begun, before I will show you a couple ways it can be. It'll come and go. Okay. Although it's real and has been perceived, and can be perceived in experience, The concept of authenticity rests on conflicted terrain. Early articulations of authenticity begin to emerge in the West in the 16th century. Yet, as Lionel Trillian has pointed out, Polonius's advice to Laertes, in Hamlet, for instance, "To thine own self be true," is not yet an example of authenticity, but of sincerity. Laertes should be true to himself so that he can't be false to others. It's instrumental. Authenticity, on the other hand, avoids this instrumentality. To strive for authenticity is by definition its own end. Classic authenticity begins to emerge in the thought, perhaps, of Rousseau, fully flowering maybe in the various romanticisms of the 19th century. As Charles Guignon has shown, however, although romantic conceptions have been most influential, he phrases it interestingly. He says the problem of authenticity is one that hasn't finished with us yet. Heidegger and more recent thinkers like Richard Rorty still work through various permutations. The point is that authenticity is not a single, natural, essential thing, even if we can innately understand it, because it has been thought of in so many different ways. There is a through line, though, which is that the authentic includes, first and foremost, debates about authenticity. Charles Taylor says a similar thing, I think. Being authentic in this general sense involves both asking questions about authenticity, however, and answering them. To be authentic is to face up to the fact that we can't be everywhere all at once, all the time. Nor can we say yes to every virtuality that skips across our horizon. Admittedly, to face finitude is to face violence. As David Harvey writes, the act of making choices, for instance, let's make a revolution, requires us to say yes to some possibilities while closing off others. Harvey draws on Kierkegaard there. To put it differently, we can break an arm or we can be wounded and it will heal, almost like we were digital. But if we lose a tooth or two, it's forever. And in a way, authenticity is reckoning with that kind of thing. This evening, I'm making a contribution to the dialogue on authenticity. I'm telling you about and showing you authenticity, which has already begun to happen. What does it mean to be authentic? I asked this and I answered it. How do we know when we're there? I'm making definitive proposals concerning that. Now I'm going to explain briefly the ways in which a couple songs I'll play are authentic. And I just want to say that although I'm claiming that these songs are authentic, not the songs, but my performance of them, but really, this explanation is if we could point at authenticity, it's on this page. Making a claim for something as authentic is where it is. Okay. Now I will sing songs. In what ways will they be authentic? The first way is a Marxist way. We are authentic when we're collectively reassembling our creative capacity to be creative and collaborative beings beyond the cash nexus and the commodity form. This is both essentialist and radically historical. To become oneself is to commune with the source, to return like the first time it was. We become ourselves by moving forwards towards where we used to belong. History is capitalized in this place. I'm not going to say much more about this first kind of authenticity, except I will just point out, and you can ask 11D, I've refused my artist fee, and I'm not who I say I am, which means that I'm not going to be putting this on my CV. Also, so these songs, and my explanation, more importantly, my explanation of them, are literally gifts. And I'm not even enjoying myself. The second kind of authenticity I'll attempt to demonstrate is similar in that it also involves struggle. Being towards authenticity is simultaneously being against impositions. And this is what I'll try to grapple with. How could I avoid this, you might ask? How could I attempt authenticity and avoid this second question concerning authenticity? Maybe if I purely played before you, I might be said to become what I really am in one way. But it would be a mirage. It would be a utopia. I heard that Sartre claimed that waiters are exemplars of inauthenticity. Forced to eke out their livelihood by performing a role, it isn't just their hands or backs that are alienated, it's their very sociality. They're forced to be for a living. Their interactions with patrons, then, are not those made by full humans. I disagree. In taking on a role like waiting tables, in making that role the opposite of a role, in other words, in taking the virtuosity out of the virtuoso, even if only for a moment, we can contend against that thing, just like when we sing a song, which I'll do just in a moment. We try to follow the score to play, but our voice manages nonetheless to spill over. Our voice manages, mine does anyways, to just be that which it is. We explode the song, or we can, like the way a server in a restaurant can wink at you and really seem to mean it. Really seem to love you beyond the server's function as a smiling carrier of coffee and club sandwiches. Just draw your attention though to the fact that I could have picked any songs. It's not really important. The songs themselves is not what I'm drawing your attention to. I'm not sure if the songs are authentic in any sense of the word. They might be, but it would be an accident. Don't that's what you say each time that I hold you this way. When I feel like this and I wanna kiss you, baby, don't say don't. Don't leave my embrace, for here in my arms is your place. When the night grows cold and I wanna hold you, baby, don't say don't. If you think that this is just a game I'm playing, if you think I don't